I can't hear you, Lucas, if you're talking.
Oh, yeah, I'm trying to...
I can't hear you, Lucas, if you're talking.
You can't hear that? Oh, yeah.
I can't hear you, Lucas, if you're talking.
You can't hear that? Oh, yeah.
I can't hear you, Lucas, if you're talking.
Wednesday at lunch. Wednesday at lunch. At lunch.
This is our inaugural.
At lunch.
That's the right word, right? This is our inaugural.
At lunch.
Issues to the game we're building.
Pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Issues to the game we're building.
Pretty much everything.
That we're looking to.
Yeah. Issues to the game we're building.
Pretty much everything.
That we're looking to.
Yeah. Issues to the game we're building.
Pretty much everything.
Issues to the game we're building.
Pretty much everything.
And post-traumatic stress.
Pretty much everything.
And just about any of the other weird things that come with and just about any of the and just about any of the
Which are
yeah. Obviously, anybody outside of that GUI conversation is just obviously fine as well to participate, chat, share some of their as well, chat, share some of their
kind of work, man. What I've found so far is, you go to the VA website, there's an application you fill out, you set an appointment, and I think you talk to a counselor after that.
Yeah, when I did it, it was 2019, 2020, excuse me, kind of bleed together after you get out of the Army. 2020, I did a VRNE packet as a part of like my exploration of additional funding programs that I was eligible for to participate based on disability ratings and things of that nature. So the packet was submitted online. I went and I spoke with initially spoke with a provider. We talked about like some of the things that I was interested in participating in the program to help me have a new viable skill for employment. So that put me in a particular track of filling out the rest of the paperwork and the slant which I wrote the book is my participation in that process and how I worked within the system to get their assistance. I ultimately didn't end up taking advantage of the opportunity that they had as a part of going forward. It didn't align with some personal things that I had going on in the background. So I plan to re-engage that here sometime within the not so distant future. But
I think
more to follow on that.
Well, I think it's one of those things that people don't really know about unless you go explore. Sometimes government websites are a little convoluted. You don't really understand, but I think the VA has really stepped up their game as far as that goes. For our generation, who understands kind of that portal interface, tech thing. I remember talking to my dad about some of these vet programs, back in the day, and he's like, I can't get a hold of my VA guy. And you stop and think about, really, they're only, I say the kind of the Vietnam generation, unless you're tech savvy, really doesn't know how to access things except through, a phone. And so when you dial that phone number and you get the nauseating menu, and I know, man, phone menus are what they are, but it's just like, oh my God, do I really have to sit I can't remember 6 layers deep on what I was supposed to select. So most of the time I just keep hitting 0 till a human answers.
Yeah. What's funny is that's just so generational, like the platform that was a preference when you were a kid. We kind of spanned both of those, being tied to a telephone cord and the freedom to move around with the phone. So a novel twist. We can kind of stick our feet in both of those domains where uh, the kids these days are totally native cell phone orientation. They can't really relate to that previous generation.
Yeah, well, I've dipped my toe now because my daughter's in the army also.
Yeah.
It's like I got two generations asking me what a DMDC account is.
Mhm.
Some of those things, unfortunately, you're not told until after the fact. And how long did it take us to understand all those army systems? Whether it's DMDC or DTS or, I mean, take your pick. And that's really evolved, I think, over the last 10 years into something that if you don't know how to access and use those systems and use them well, you're missing out on a lot of resources.
Yeah, totally. I mean, just the force mod piece really came tenfold during that GWAT period that the United States was engaged with. We went from like road to war flashcards to interactive email content. So that's quite the jump. So they're trying to make those positive changes, and it's pointing in the right direction, especially with some of the SAP systems they're employing.
Yeah, and I mean, much like Salesforce or any other SAP or ERP type of system, you got to dedicate time to training for that. I mean, look at how many times DTS training snuck onto our training calendar.
Yeah.
Does that make you more lethal? Does it fit within the Army's, plan to be more mobile, more lethal, more, whatever? Well, maybe more efficient. And it's a good system. I talk bad about DTS a lot because I just can't stand it. But the fact of the matter is, man, they put all the wizardry in the front instead of in the back. If they had to just give us a travel voucher to fill out and all the wizardry happened in the back. But again, that's our generation.
Well, they call that the HR function. In traditional businesses, those people do those things for you. The Army expects the amount of people that they have. You have to kind of like be resigned to the fact that you have to do most of that stuff yourself because there's not somebody there to really facilitate. But not everybody traveled like we did, where you're doing a TDY like once every 3 or 4 years, not
Right.
such a big thing. But if you're in and out of the country, a couple times in a quarter, you become pretty proficient with that stuff. It's no different from the VA systems that you interact with. Like as I transition out of that nonprofit world into the business arena, your relevance becomes a dated concept too, because a lot of those changes are tied to congressional appropriations and funding. So it's pretty interesting in that regard.
And I'll tell you, I got nothing but respect for our S1 guys. So,
Yeah.
Sergeant Major retired Sean McSherry, if you're out there listening, Mikey Pugh, boys in the 1st Battalion S1 shop, God bless you. Thank you. Still appreciate you to this day. Awesome.
For sure. I mean, I can rattle off countless E1s, S1s that have forever saved my hide from one thing or another. And those guys are a blessing.
Oh, 100%. That's, we didn't get to do what we did without support. And I think we all know that. Interestingly, man, I was reading an article, I think it was on LinkedIn the other day about soft enabler support and how they're trying to downgrade it or
Yeah.
retract funding from it or whatever the case is. And I'm like, that's a huge mistake, dude.
Over here.
Some of those things you get on the social media platforms and pontificate about, look, I'm 5 years removed from the military, man. I don't know. So sometimes those comments ring hollow. I always got to put a qualifier on there that says, hey, I've been retired for 5 years, so I don't know what I don't know. But on the surface, it sure seems like that's a bad idea to me.
Wow. Yeah, like I said, it's with the tied to the funding, it's always subject to change. So you constantly have to either manage those systems or interact with them, or you're working with dated concepts.
100%. And as the military is deployed to, I don't know what, 73, 75, whatever that number is nowadays, countries around the world on a regular basis, at least in the soft side of town, it's that's a big footprint. And I think these reach back systems that are out there now are great, but man, if you don't know how to use them, from a veteran's chair now, you go back, and when you're in the I remember when I was transitioning, it was like I was saving all the websites and trying to figure
Yeah.
out what each one was. What's e-benefits, what's va.gov, what's whatever that might be. The Army skill portal. I found out about the skill portal on the way out the door. you know,
Yeah.
you find out about that thing earlier in your career, and some of the cool opportunity and things like that, especially in the IT world. Man, you can gain a lot of certifications for just time. If that would have existed when I was a young man in Germany, in the 90s, well, no, I wouldn't have done it anyway. But I had other things to do then.
Yeah. Well, it's, priorities will work a little bit different as a young 20-something in Europe.
Yeah, yeah. First time off the farm, so to speak.
Yeah.
Literally the first time for
Yeah.
me. I was always kind of wide-eyed to the world. You get out
Yeah.
there and you realize, hey man, I can go down and buy a train ticket to Paris for like 15 marks.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Be there 2.5 hours.
Much different than being a private at Fort Campbell. You're like
Ooh.
41A. You're like, oh, okay. I still had fun.
Okay, let's talk about what's the worst military base that you've been on.
That's a tough one. Probably Fort Hood's not so great.
Yeah.
Lots of creature comforts, but not very organized, or I don't know.
Well, man, I'll tell you, you were here for the boss transition. The single soldier initiative. Now you need so much space,
Yeah.
et cetera, et cetera. I think it was a good thing. As far as the military is concerned, but I see some of those rooms. Nowadays. Well, the last one I saw was quite a while ago already, but it's like an apartment, man. It's like a small efficiency apartment. I'm like, that's not what I had.
Yeah.
And I think every generation does that. Wow, when I was a young private, it was so much harder. Well, the fact of the matter is, it was. You could become that old crusty guy that I used to hate. Remember that?
Yeah. But they didn't really care, though. They just pack you into the barracks like sardines, man. We'd have 4 people living in something smaller than the size of my office and my house.
Yep.
4 dudes, bunk beds, 2 sets of bunk beds and 4 lockers. There wasn't any room for anything else in that room other than like living. It was stressful as a kid. Think about it. I'll be like, please, we got 7 new guys showing up as in an infantry company. You're like, please go to 3rd platoon. They have like the most room in the hallway, and then he'd be like, no, one of them's a big dude. He's going to the weapons squad. So you just start racking and stacking all the bodies that are coming through the hallway. And because you were worried you'd get another person added to your room. You're like, oh man, we only got 2 people in our room. We're balling,
We got all the privacy in the world.
Yeah.
Set up your wall locker between you if you had one. That's the wall locker privacy wall that you used to have.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know, man. It was just different then. And you get buffer qualified, the room inspections, the silly on bed, field gear layouts, room inspections. They come and wipe the finger across the top.
Oh yeah.
But it built, I think it was good. It built discipline into us a little bit.
Dick hair, it'd be scrutinizing you.
In that daily routine, if you're not in the field, you're pressing that iron in that uniform because you sure couldn't afford to take it to the cleaners and get starched, and shining them boots. That was the daily.
Yeah. MNU and all that fun stuff. Man, that was the smartest thing the Army ever did was get rid of put the rough side out leather boots, man.
I agree to some point, but I got to tell you, I think that basic reminder that you were in the Army every day was a good thing. I really do, because now it's like Joe Bag. I don't know. These new uniforms are great. They're actually a good camouflage pattern, not that crazy digital crap they had, but it's like there's some level in me that still wants that razor creased, sleeve, and we just look sharper then.
But that's a version of the Army that will never exist again.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit in today's context, man. That you have to like stay agile and stay fluid to change with the times. If you don't, you're going to get steamrolled.
Yeah,
But you're right on the good order and discipline thing. You always need more of that, no matter where you're at, whether in a professional world or in the military domain.
maybe that's just an evolution, where the concentration is actually on training and war fighting, not necessarily so much on the barracks. But I did have a wise man tell me one time. His name was Rick Lamb. There's no such thing as a garrison or a field soldier. You got to do both, and you got to do them well. Coming from him, yeah, man. So I was already in SF, man. It was my
But
first.
you're smart enough to know you need a pair of field boots.
Damn right.
Yeah, you didn't take the ones that you had to put any effort in out there.
That's right. Gotta have your spits and starches, man.
Absolutely.
I think I said that. You and I talk sometimes about this military lingo that nobody else actually understands. Spits and starchers is one of those things that our generation understands, but then I don't know if the current generation has a clue what that is. I mentioned it to my daughter the other day when she was doing something. I said, "Hey, you get your spits and starches out." She's like, "What?" It was just like a foreign concept. I'm like, well, back in my day, you start with that stupid dad explanation that they don't really want to hear, but they humor you for a minute or two.
Think about how judgmental he used to be. Oh, that kid's squared away. He's got a nice uniform and shiny boots. He knows what he's doing. Like no, man, that kid's just as jacked up as everybody else, man. He's just smart enough to know that needs to be a priority to not get hassled by the man.
You get those favorite flavor words like that dude's a shitbag.
Yeah. Oh man, I've had such a colorful list of leaders who had some really particular vocabularies that really expanded things and understanding of life based on those metrics.
Man, I think back to all those things. I think somebody should really just write the book of Armyisms, so to speak.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's one out there like that.
Maybe. I mean, you can do everything when you self-publish. I got 2 books. Now that was just part of my documentation and wanting to help, man. It's so silly that we're literally the world's biggest fraternity. And people in the Army are coming up, our veterans are coming up short. That's bullshit, man. We should be resilient and helpful and share those opportunities instead of guarded and closed off and secret squirreling things. That's dumb. Why would we not share some of my understanding to help you get there faster, man? That's like being a parent.
Well, I didn't get a user's manual with my kids.
No, but it sure helped when somebody could help you talk through some stuff ahead of making a tough decision as a parent.
Oh man, I wish I would have had one though.
Yeah,
and you're right. I think oftentimes we, withhold that information to our detriment. We talk a lot about, especially in our business, the tribe, and getting back to that tribe. And man, we all know we're stronger together. We all know that. Why we don't do that now, that we're not, in service anymore, I don't know. I think it's a big mistake. That's, from friendships to business to, on down the line. I think that's, some of what we're trying to do here, with our game that we're building is to bring people back together, reunite with that tribe and really just renew and maintain those connections. There's a lot of groups that do that, obviously. Got the SF Ranger breakfast down here in San Antonio and all across. The SF Association, VW, American Legion, a lot of these organizations are out there as, the, so to speak, fraternal organizations that I think really we just miss that being part of something bigger than us thing. I know I do.
It's definitely reassuring and comforting to know that you have a support network when you're out there as a veteran. Sometimes that support network isn't as clearly defined, and so you really have to take it upon yourself to build your own. So any items can cluster together, man. That's the best part about the interconnected world these days is you can find any group that you align your morals and values with, and become a part of that group pretty easy. That's step one is like find people who want the same things as you and value the same belief systems that you have. And a lot of those, if you're a veteran, a lot of those groups are veteran oriented because we're used to doing a little bit more with a little bit less. And I know it sounds silly to anybody that might not be a veteran, but um, it turns out, they don't give you all of the available resources to go fight and win the nation's wars. So understanding that you can, find the silver lining in some of these more challenging predicaments, that's like step one of dealing with your, unpacking some of those previous exposures to trauma. Is knowing that you can peel that onion back a little bit, and there's going to be a support system there to kind of like make sure you don't go too far off the rails.
Yeah, identifying that thing, becoming part of something.
Yeah. I mean, what we're just really my biggest opportunity is to just share all crowdsource every every problem you have, and most of the times coming across some of these veterans groups, they're more than happy to help you when you ask for it. It's just knowing which groups to ask what questions. So connecting a bunch of like-minded groups is pretty much a no-brainer in my opinion. It's like, okay, cool, we just doubled our efforts with half of the time. You know.
And I think reaching out on a personal level with people too. Sometimes people's cry for help is in a social media channel. You can't ignore that. How many times have you seen something and just did a buddy check on somebody? It's like, hey man, let me hit him on the DM over here, or if you have a phone number, for somebody I know I've done it several times, and I'll continue to do that. That's just one of those, be a good human things, man.
Yeah. I mean, those check-ins are vital, dude. We're on a commercial. I don't know if anybody can hear us. But like those check-ins are a requirement, man. I didn't really get that until I had about like I'm like 4 deep on friends who have killed themselves. It's like, oh shit, man, I better start uh, making sure that everybody's okay because there's been some fucked up stuff going on in the world. Pardon my candid language. Sorry if that offends you. I'm not trying to be crass or anything. But just knowing that you got to check in, man. If you don't, somebody's not going to hear a message that they need to hear at the time they need to hear it.
Check-ins are important.
Yeah.
And honestly, a check-in takes about what, 2 seconds of your life.
I mean, honestly, I've got probably 6 different veteran group clusters in my uh, uh, social media apps, where I can just kind of get in and interact with some of the content in between that filler time, where you're waiting on this or that. Just hop on the socials and just kind of like, hey, what's up, guys? But those are deliberate people that I've deployed with, and I know that we share some of those challenges from different exposures.
Yeah, that commonality, the ability to, excuse me, the ability to identify with somebody on that level, I think is important. There's
sure,
there's a lot of
it
folks
has to
talk
be authentic.
that has to. I mean,
Yeah.
you've engaged with your therapist. I've engaged with mine over time. I think, the stigma that surrounded that for a long time, especially in our generation, is one of those things that keeps people from seeking, actual professional help. And then there's your own personal denial. I don't need the help.
Yeah. Well,
And then it's just one more rock in your rucksack, and pretty soon that thing is so heavy you just got to put it down, man.
yeah, knowing when to like pick up and put down your ego is something that you really don't learn early enough in life, man. Just imagine how much different your perspective would be if you understood that concept when you were 23. Where would you be at now? Your trajectory would be 2 different paths. You'd be a completely different human being.
Absolutely.
Be humble. Stay humble.
I'm still a work in progress.
We all are, and that's no different in anybody's kind of unpacking things at different times. Not everybody gets jammed up. Everybody's triggers are different. Certain times a year used to really chap my ass and work me up a good little bit, but I figured out how to deal with that by talking to a provider about those situations, those specific physiological triggers that got prompted from a particular period of time on a calendar, because that was when something happened to somebody that was important to me.
And there's the constant reminders. Again, social media. You see a lot of people paying homage to their friends who have gone, et cetera. And it's just a constant reminder, man. It ain't free. And I've done that myself. And usually you see them around the Veterans Holidays and Memorial Day and et cetera. If I'll tell you one thing, man, that really chaps my ass is when people get on there and they say something about whatever somebody has said on a various holiday. It's like, listen, man, don't do that. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about, right? They're like, oh, that's not what this is for. Look, I understand. I get it from both perspectives, but those people are just trying to, be part of something bigger than themselves. I don't know. A lot of people show their respect in many different ways.
Yeah.
I still have trouble with the whole thanks for your service thing. I don't feel like I did enough. I don't think any of us ever feel like we've done enough.
I mean, I just try and make a game of it. And they're taking the time to go out of their way to say thank you. Whether they say Happy Memorial Day on Labor Day or whatever, man.
Yeah.
At least they're being like cognizant of the fact that they know you went through something that doesn't really compute in their brains. That's the weird part.
I just feel like I don't have the right to correct people on things like that. You know what I mean? It's like you say something, hey, that's good enough. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. That's good enough. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I just don't feel like I'm entitled.
I used to feel like I was entitled, man. I mean, that part of growth and development as a person is figuring out that it's not personal and things of that nature, and you can find the good in things. And that's been one of the biggest shifts in my perspective, is not looking at all the bad stuff or the good stuff, man. Just looking at the journey and how it's shaped who I am today.
Ooh, I'm still working through that one.
Yeah. Well,
I'm working through that one.
Yeah, I mean that's a lifelong journey, though. I just finished up this book, The Game of Life, and how to play it. I can't remember the gal's name. TBI. Yeah, it's sitting on the table. I'm going to put it in the mail to you, dude. It's simple. It's a quick read. It's only 8 pages. Really, really easy, consumable stuff. It kind of marries up with some other faith-based discussions, but it tells you how to communicate that stuff and see things a little bit differently, man. And it's really neat. Just always looking for new opportunities to have better understanding.
Does it have pictures?
No.
Any pictures?
It's got a bunch of the case study in there.
Big words though?
No. It was written some time ago, and probably by somebody with English as a second language. It's kind of I don't know that to be a fact, but that's just kind of how it reads. But I write weird, man. Laura always busts my balls about how I write like I don't know, army language, I guess. Bluff.
That's from a technical writing standpoint, that fits right in. But from kind of the other genres, if you want to call them those, of writing, I have a hard time adapting to that myself.
Yeah, well, I'm just a pretty direct person, and I expect people to be direct with me, so I don't mince any words when we engage. It's never out of any malice or harm or anything. It's just I appreciate a quick, candid reply. Or
so what's on your bookshelf, man? Because I got a bunch of those. Remember all the reading lists you used to get when you were a youngster? Yeah. And some of those books you actually did get through, and some of them are just sitting. And so I'm rereading Rusty Bradley's book, The Lions of Kandahar, right now. Rusty, if you're listening out there, brother, that's good. It brings back a lot of memories of that crazy time in the Helmand province. But as I read through other people's work, and knowing that they collaborated with an author or didn't collaborate with an author, when they like major guys like Stephen Pressfield and some of those dudes, it's I don't know, man. I get to reflect in, and I find myself about every other page just kind of lost in my own recollection of what that was. it's kind of kin to watching a military movie. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? I try my best just to watch the damn movie because so many times I'm like, no, you know. And I got it. There's some, you got to keep people kind of interested in what's going on because it's not all cool.
Well, I mean, think about the Army pre 9/11. It wasn't really much to talk about other than like 30 days in the back 40. And that was your deployment. Is living in a drash for uh, you know for about 25 days before you had to go spend a week in the motor pool cleaning all the stuff up. You know,
Oh, yeah, we practiced and practiced and practiced for the big game.
yeah,
I think we were well trained, though, to tell you the truth. I felt well prepped. When the balloon went up, so to speak, it was like I felt like I was ready. There's always you know, that tightening in your posterior that tells you didn't do enough.
oh yeah,
But but I had great leadership who was, you know, during that time constantly just driving home the point. When this happens for real, all this finger drilling that you're doing now ain't gonna cut it. So,
yeah,
man, I felt, thanks to those guys, all those old leaders from the past who I caught just a little bit of the tail end of the Vietnam era.
hmm
Um, at one point, I had Dan Ross was a member of our company. Dan was in the book SOG, and he was, I don't know, probably in his early 50s at that time, if I remember right. And he was like, I don't know, like a ghost or something, talking to that guy. And I remember one specific incident, man. I think we were out in McGregor Range, and Dan was out in the morning, early, like 5:30, doing Tai Chi
yeah,
out in the desert, just doing whatever. And so I was, kind of ha ha ha. I was a young kid. I think I was like 24 at the time or whatever. I walked up to him and I said, "What the hell are you doing, old man?" And I was like, "Ooh, it was bad, dude."
yeah,
He's like, "Come here, Junior, and let me show you what I'm doing." He proceeded to school me.
yeah. Youth is wasted on the young. That's for sure.
And the thing is, he was very humble about all this thing, and I got to talking to him, and I got to know him pretty well. And he said, "Have you ever read the book Sog?" I said, "No, I've never read it." And so he actually gave me a copy, and he goes, "That guy right there," he goes, "That's me." And I'm like, "Holy shit!" you know, Here I am talking to somebody who's literally been there, done that. And man, I got the utmost respect for SOG veterans, and I think I watched Jocko's podcast. He had a whole series of SOG vets being on there. John Streckermeyer and some of the more vocal guys about SOG after the missions were declassified. Dude, I just sit there with my mouth open and listen to those podcasts, and I'm like, wow. If you're a 1-0 or a 1-1, leading a small RT, into the back jungles with a couple of mountain yards, just like that's it. That's what when I saw the recruiting poster, that's it.
Yeah,
Really cool stuff. We should try to get one of those guys on here and just talk to him for a while. I just love to hear the stories. They're awesome.
oh man, like I mean, for those, I mean, nobody would know this really, but I grew up in the 101st, man. I did a year in a rifle company, and then I tried out for long range surveillance. And that was my funnest job by far. I would have stayed there for forever if the Army let me. Fortunately, they didn't. So I went on and did different things, but I loved every aspect of that, man. We got to hook up with the Vietnam era LERPs and long range reconnaissance guys, and it just made for such a great backdrop to understand and appreciate some of those conversations. It didn't really resonate until I was, taking my surveillance team on an extended distance mission from the D main when I was leading my surveillance team. So it was really, really cool to go back and kind of reread some of those bodies of work after I kind of did some of the same stuff with my guys, and keeping tabs on them now is a little bit different than it used to be, because some of these subsequent deployments after those bigger ones as a kid. It changes your exposure and what you perceive as risk in different ways. It's really interesting and complicated all in the same sense, man. How do you communicate effectively but still be sensitive enough to know that somebody was impacted in a different way than you are?
Yeah, for sure. Hey man, I got the game teed up. You want to jump on and play a little bit of the game, just kind of show
For
people
sure.
what we're doing here?
Absolutely.
Cool. My wife just walked in. She's got something going on, so I got to play for a while here. But I got to get
out of work, man. Let me just fix my camera there. I got a whole separate game box.
getting chalked up here.
I'm just gonna center it up. Play on. There we go.
Our engineer running in the background there.
Yeah. Nick, God bless him. Great American.
All right, I'm gonna set up. I think we're pushing it out now.
Yeah.
All right, let's set up a server 6285. Let's make it real. Enable that friendly fire and some bots.
All of it.
What do you want to do? You want to go to the hideout? Yeah, man. Let's try the hideout.
I like running around in the woods. It's a bigger map. The fob is pretty quick. It's one of those container style levels that really lets you exercise that CQB and that kind of stuff. Really, I just stand in a corner and die. But whoever's keeping tabs on that, Nick obviously is. He's the one that deleted my stats.
All right,
that's neither here nor there.
Hey man, don't be mad.
Yeah, opening up old wounds, man. That's what I do.
Pick that scab a little bit. Like, man, I had 6 whole points in that thing.
Man.
All right, here we go, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, see, this ain't right, dude, because you can see my screen.
I won't look. I did when we were playing around earlier.
Whatever.
I have a strategy.
I'm playing as you now.
So for everybody listening in, this is the pre-alpha version. We're getting ready to kick out for some early testing and gameplay assistance, and some beta type work.
Old man fights.
Yeah.
Oh, an underwater kill? Say what?
So I love looking at the sun coming through the trees on this level. This is the graphics are amazing. I was going to talk about some of the graphics and how Nick is basically a ninja with Reillusion and Unity, all this stuff. There we go.
All the young kids watching now are like, look at those old dudes trying to play, man. Terrible. Oh, pretty soon we're going to be swinging that Spartan blade, boys.
Yes, sir. Oh, somebody saw me up in the bushes.
Oh, top-down kill on the bot.
Come around that corner.
See it, bud. How you like me now, Smokey? Where are you hiding, little rabbit?
I found me a med pack. That's what I needed. I was getting jammed up there.
Man, that's like a cache recovery when you're running through that game.
I know. Gotcha. All right. Sean said you're smoking the friendlies.
Hey, dude. All for me.
Got killed by a bot. I'm horrible.
Bots are aggressive, bro.
Yeah. But I have a pretty good strategy, just running the whole time.
For me, that's not a good strategy anytime.
All right. Got the bot that killed me.
Payback.
Yeah. I'm gonna smoke somebody with my pistol because I'm out of bullets. Looks like I've come across a resupply pack.
Uh-oh.
Nick, if you know where that's at, hit me on the text.
Oh.
Oh, I didn't mean to look, but I accidentally looked. Sorry, Sean.
I got killed by the rot.
Okay, because I just looked at your screen on accident to see where we were.
Yeah.
I said on accident, dude. It wasn't intentional. Sometimes you really just can't help it. Somebody's sniping me from across the way. All right. There's 3. Okay.
I saw one
I
of them
see you.
earlier.
I know one of them. I know where one of the med packs are, but I haven't seen any of the ammo packs yet.
I happened across one by accident. It's pretty well camouflaged.
Yeah. Well, the med pack, one of them is up in the mountains across the big lake. See,
Hey,
I'm sharing that information with you.
I'm gonna stop and eat some mushrooms. It'll help out.
Yeah, man. One of the dudes I follow on Twitter is rocking psilocybin study.
Hey, man, it's been found to be effective.
It sure has. This is really where I just need to hang out right in here in this coastline because you'll always just feed down this trail.
Come on, reload, bro. No. Ammo conservation is key.
Yeah. I don't know if I can quite play and talk at the same time. Some of these Twitch people do it, man. They'll be like having full-blown conversations as they're like running around decapitating folks.
That's because they know what they're doing.
Yeah, I'm getting better, man.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
A little rusty, but clean that up from time to time. It's kind of like using the VA system. The more you use it, the better you become with it.
Right.
Just play this more frequently.
Man, that is like primo.
I've got a new strategy though.
Got some climbing here.
I just like let the bots kind of troll, and so when people engage the bots, I turn up. I believe that's what the kids are saying these days.
Man, Lucas, you got great hair in this game, dude.
I know. If only.
So jealous.
If only we were still on that same.
Really kind of jealous
grooming
of
standard. Yeah. There we go.
All right, where you at, little rabbit?
Somebody's. There we go. Cover conceal position. Where you at? There you go. God, kill. Reload.
I think I got to get a game mouse.
Yeah. I think it might help.
Where are you at?
I see you coming with my Percy.
Oh, man, they ganged up on me. Look at that.
My bot's down there?
I think that bot just tried to teabag me, dude. I'm not even kidding. Nick, is that you? You never know when old Kiz My Auntie is going to jump in there.
Yeah, there we go. Now we're going somewhere. Where you going, buddy?
Oh, I always get a weird feeling when I'm running down a road.
I had all three, like two bots and you shooting at me at the same time. Just how fluid the game design has come since we started this process, man. It's just super clunky, and now it's just really streamlined, man. It's great.
You need to get a little faster with that 320, bro. Lobbing him over his head.
You have to basically reload and conserve ammo because it takes quite a few rounds to like hit somebody. Or maybe it's just because I suck. Somebody just shooting over my ear. Bot Jason.
MP5 is not a long range weapon.
No.
I'm about to go get some XP. Got to earn some XP or go buy me a new gun.
Yeah. When's the last time you used an MP5?
Oh, like
Hey, there's there's an ammo box. About let me find a reference point to talk you into it. Okay.
see one?
Yeah, it's in the middle of the woods, off of the right hand side of the board. If you skirt the creek, you'll see it behind a big batch of boulders, about a third of the way up the hill. Just if you come around that little ravine or cross it.
Ooh, look at the pretty flowers.
Bot Stevens DED. Hey, there's something else. Oh, I found another ammo. There's another ammo at the base of the mountain clearing, where that clearing is. Somebody shoot me. That was Nick. Killed me. Like right where you killed me, Nick, there's an ammo crate, too. I didn't know where they're all at on this one yet.
I'm getting bot attacked.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. I wasted all these bots.
I know, I'm just waiting for you to step in that clearing.
That's just wrong.
I watched you kill them all, if it makes you feel any better.
That's just wrong. Got to get better at map awareness here.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like in real life, you know.
Yeah.
You kind of have to wait till you clear around trees to.
We got a UAV in the air. Friendly. I don't know, friendly to who?
Friendly to that person that's shooting at me, obviously. I think we flipped the sides of the board.
Yep.
Oh, shit.
Helicopter. Support helicopter. Oh, he's got a stabo rig.
Bot Steven killed me. So how does this have anything to do with mental health and wellness? That's what you got to ask yourself.
Uh-oh, Kiss My Anthea.
Yeah, he's in here. He's killed me twice already. So a lot of one of the benefits for this is the immersion style therapy that you get from recurring exposure to the same type of thing. And plus, it's just a release to get in and interact and run around and have fun and focus on things that you don't think have to overthink. It's just running around playing a video game. You don't really. When I first started working on like transitioning and growth and things like that, it's a lot of um, foreign concepts that I didn't really wasn't really super receptive to understanding at an early state. But just I would say take the opportunity to be mindful and know that like you don't have all the answers and ask for help and some of those understandings from people who have been through similar situations. It was really helpful in some of my early development. One of my providers was a former infantry battalion commander, so he really understood a lot of some of the complexities with uh, particular situations that I was challenged with. From sometimes being one of the very few Americans in a foreign country, or some different kinetic type discussions that were kind of like a challenge for me to get around. Oh, gotcha. So explore different ways of thinking about things is really what I'm trying to get at, I guess. You don't have to relate it to a previous experience. Just absorb it, consume it, and process it, and figure out what any of that stuff actually means. Because sometimes what works wonders for me might be something that's trivial and not relevant at all for somebody else. But just be wise enough in your critique and assessment of what you're going through to know that it's not related to a bias that you picked up along the way in the military about sharing experiences or worrying about what other people think about what you're sharing with them. Because at the end of the day, it's how it affects you and not somebody else. So um, everybody loves to be judge, jury, and executioner when it comes to who had it worse. But it's not about who had it worse. It's what are you doing with it is the real deal.
Yeah, for sure. I think for me, this gameplay, it's just being there's a lot of things in this game that kind of trigger memories. You know what I mean? It's fun. I got it, but some of those things, kick in,
Yeah.
especially the fire and the headphones when it's coming from multiple directions, and you're like, dude, I feel like I've been here before.
See, I mean, I kind of lose some of that sensory orientation because my headphones are on my work box, and I have a whole separate gamer rig that I play. So that's maybe I'll work on that this weekend. Change some things around so I can go live from the box at the same time, so we can get some of that orientation. You miss that stuff. I mean, I know it sounds funny. Just the, the crack of the rounds flying. You're like, yep, that's definitely at me. Looking for a BFR.
You remember the first firefight you got into?
Yeah, I've saved a shell casing from every single like good war story that I had. Yeah.
The funny thing is, you don't know you're being shot at because you've never been shot at before.
Yeah.
And then you're like, holy shit, I think I just got a CIB. And after that, it's like you never think about it again.
Yeah. Yeah. We had on one of my rotations, we had somebody that didn't have a CIB with one of the detachments that I was deployed with. And so that was like, did that count? We would always be like, no, that was that one. Well, technically that was this, and just kind of like playing with folks about not counting towards a CIB to mess with them a little bit more. I thought that was always fun. I won't drop any names just yet, but
you're out of ammo, kids.
coming in. This one you can get away with running around with that 320 and just lobbing it.
Oh man, I went to the knife and I wasn't quick enough. This is one of those maps that's like just a little too
I like
know,
the springboards on this. That's a really good twist. It changes the way you can participate with this, though. You can really do some fun stuff with those trampolines in the middle of the board.
Yeah, that's kind of funny.
Get me in this tank, bitch. Meh.
Oh, really? Pistol against tank. Ah. So, Nick, I know you're listening. We got a little glitch on the finger wheel. It goes between two and 4 when you're wheeling through. I'll do a bug report later, but you can switch with the keys, obviously, but I'm just not smart enough to do that yet. Oh, you the tank, dude?
Yeah.
See if I can get in the tank with you.
I was jacking up your bots that was over here trying to kill me. I'm not very super great at driving the damn thing.
Kids must be concentrating on something else.
Yeah.
Because he's allowed me to take his crackers twice now. Thanks, dude.
That's what I do. Stand and deliver.
And again, on the mental health standpoint, for what we're trying to do with this game, we'd love to say our goal is build a game that doesn't suck, and I think we're there. Next part is integration of that middleware to be able to integrate our wearable, in our phone app so that we can actually start doing some tracking.
Their tank. Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, that's the whole deal. Really? What did you do? Just like hit me with the turret?
No, I'm sitting on the other tank waiting for you to get in it so I can blow you up. I don't have a tank on tank kill yet.
I don't think there's anything we can kill that tank with.
You can hit it with enough 320, I think.
We need to put a javelin in this thing.
Or the other tank. Yeah, so some of those really, we're working on concept level 1 for development. We're going to start with a tinnitus generator in here, which I think is really neat. If you've ever had the opportunity to ride in helicopters or shoot too many guns without hearing protection, you're blessed with the gift that keeps on giving forever. It's called tinnitus. So that generator, I think, is a really neat opportunity to really provide some relief during gameplay. So I think that's absolutely exciting. There's some I'm kind of like new age and some therapeutics that I think would be also a neat opportunity to integrate into the game is some frequency therapies or therapeutics that have been. There's some studies that show that stuff resonates at a cellular level, so you can kind of like work on some.
It's not wasted on me.
Yeah,
the kids just shot my vehicle with a tank. Yeah, but exactly. Right now my ears are ringing like actually here. So
yeah, like you can hear the tank blowing up in your background.
Right.
Yeah.
As a more seasoned gentleman now, my hearing aids provide a little bit of that tinnitus level stuff, but it's kind of wonky to wear headphones in those at the same time.
Yeah, my wife is like habitually telling me to go get my hearing checked. See if I qualify for hearing aid yet, because she says I don't really hear so well.
That's selective?
I don't quite know if it's selective just yet, but I'm willing to entertain that.
I'm told that sometimes. you can hear, you just choose not to. I don't think that's actually true. Oh, damn you, too.
Oh. Got smoked by a bot.
Let me do the old school pulse check.
Yeah, press check is what I needed earlier. The therapeutics in the games I think is really cool, man. We're excited to see where all that goes. there's a lot of studies that are starting to use video games as a platform for delivering their wellness strategies. So I think gaming is a natural segue to a lot of folks who have some experience with GWAT. I mean, you sit around in your man can for the 12 hours when you're not forward. You
Did I
can't
just
help.
was that a TF bird? Did I just get smoked by a TF bird?
I got killed by something. Yeah, I got hit by the ordnance, I believe.
Oh, Nick, I'm coming for you, bro. Juice me before I could get to the ammo pack.
He's playing with a man.
Uh,
He's cheating. That's all right.
yeah, he's shooting like a laser gun at us or something. I don't know what he's doing.
He's got Rick's character
Oh, no wonder.
with that 308. Handing me my book.
Available only in the pre.
That's right, pre-sale. Only
Pre-sale
time
edition.
that will ever be available for acquisitions during gameplay.
Man, I am getting worn out. It's a really quick map, you know what? There's no cover.
Yeah. I think Nick's got some cheat codes on because I just hit him with a 320 and like 10 rounds of 5.56.
Oh.
I just saw John's face in half. Point blank range.
Oh, what's that? Oh, now I got a cool gun.
I don't know. Anybody that's out there that's participating, y'all got any cool situations that kind of relate to anything that we're talking about? I'd love to interact with some folks and talk about what some of your wellness strategies are, or what your mechanisms are dealing with some of your triggers. Do you know how to identify that stuff? Ooh, that was dumb luck, Nick. Sorry, killed you. Just some type of like personal experiences with coping mechanisms, or how to what is your understanding of a trigger or things like that, man? Just the
I'll tell you what
ability
triggers me is getting smoked every 5 seconds. Well, it's not real life, so that's a good thing.
That is a good thing.
I am definitely not a master gamer here.
No, but you're getting better. That's for sure.
Yeah. As I die another miserable death.
I haven't gotten the kill streaks yet. I'm trying to figure that part out. I've gotten them a couple times, but I don't know how to use them. So
I think kids must have laid the machine gun on the table. Oh, is that it? Oh no, that's not rifle. All right, now I got to go to the high ground.
I forgot you can change weapons on this map, dude. Somebody's up on the high ground above you, or on the trampoline.
Oh, that's wrong. Yeah, one thing we haven't talked about is sort of the campaign mode that we're going to build into this thing, kind of the second wave.
Yeah.
Initial action is this kind of first-person shooter stuff, but eventually that playable documentary, I think, is going to be interesting, working with our compatriot out there in Hollywood.
Yeah, that will be a new twist. So we're trying to capture some interesting stories to integrate into gameplay. So as a part of that, healing discussion, you can show that other people have shared their stories, and we can highlight some of the successes from their wellness journey that you might be able to incorporate into your own. So just using that really the ability to collectively crowdsource the solutions, man. I think that's
Oh, we've started sharing those stories now on the website. If you go look at some of the players that we have integrated in the game, they've got their bios up, the things that they've done in their career, etc. Rick being a legend in the SOCOM community. Anybody can come on here and play as his character. You I think, have the upper hand. And as we continue to add characters to the game, man, I think it's going to get more interesting. I love playing as my own character. I think it's cool.
yeah.
That's some of the things that we can offer, to the audience out there that's listening. If you're a vet, you want to be part of this game, give us a jingle, man. Air Force, Army, Navy, whatever you got, Coast Guard.
It's like bright contact in this thing, man. You run in zigzags just like you do in real life.
Uh-oh. Look at that Rick Lamb with a hatchet. Did you just kill me with a hatchet, dude? With an axe? I think Nick's been in the loot boxes, man.
I just got 4 kills. Oh, and then died. Yeah.
Oh, look at you. Oh, my God. That's a cool character.
I had the cyclic raid on Nick, so I beat him.
Phenomenal. Now he's in the tank.
No, that's me.
Is it?
Yep. There's 2 coming around the corner right in front of you.
Ooh, look at that slide.
Boom.
Oh, man. Couldn't get to the pistol fast enough. Need some work on that transition. I'm going to go sport.
Just serve me up with that one, Nick. Hit me with a grenade launcher. Okay. Nobody really super talkative today. That's all right. Oh.
Damn you, Nicholas.
Well, do you have friendly fire on, Sean?
I think so.
Sweet.
Yeah, but not.
Yeah.
Friendly fire isn't. Oh, what was that?
That was me killing Nick.
Oh. Cool.
See, I get 0 kills and 7 deaths. That's. I know I had a couple kills. Our stats are off.
Let's go see what else we offer here.
Yeah, just kind of walk around, check out the.
We did Bonfire Desert. We did Hideout. Let's go do some rapid.
Run through a fob. You might turn friendly fire off on that one because it's a pretty tight board.
Yeah, I think we can expand upon that board, make it a little bigger.
I like it like that.
It's fast and furious.
Yeah, it's like a container village on Call of Duty. I don't remember what version that was, but
it's easy to get lost in gameplay. We've been at this for like 30 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, this is the perfect board for these MP5s, honestly. Something real tight quarters. Just kind of relate it back to military stuff. Whatnot. We're on different sides, and we're going.
Ooh, check out that board. All right, don't kill me. Check out that board right there. Look at that.
I can't see it. I'm facing the wrong way.
Oh, it's you see it on my screen. When you shoot it, it interacts.
Yeah.
Man, that's a really cool feature.
Yeah, I grabbed a splash shot of that thing, like perfect for my weekly tweet. I try and do a closeout tweet on Fridays. It's kind of like, this is how things went for the week kind of deal. And I got one where it was that sign at the perfect time, just kind of coming together. That was neat.
Yeah, my
stuck in it.
connection lagging a little bit.
I think I'm stuck. Yep. Yeah, it kind of creates a little latency in there with that stream on your end, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
What do you think? Any specific? There we go. That's what I was talking about earlier with Sarah showing that shirt. That Nick's playing with that leisure suit Larry Lucas.
Yeah, latency kills.
What do you think? Real life tactics versus video game tactics.
Right.
Sure makes it a heck of a lot quicker to get through the board, knowing that you're going to reboot on the other side when you get schwacked.
Right.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, I know what to do in real life, and I can't make that little dude do it.
That shotgun, that's the way to go.
Nope. I think I'm almost froze. You getting lag on your end?
Yeah. Hey, I got one of the. How do you send up that kill streak, Nick? Okay. Eight. There we go.
I'm real laggy on this end.
Yeah, same here, man. All right. Well, that's about all I got for gameplay for now, man. It's getting too distracted. I'm getting pulled into the matrix.
I think that's the idea, though, man.
Yeah.
The idea that you can just kind of escape for a little while is is one of those things that we're hoping to provide here.
Yeah, for sure, man. I think it'll be welcome respite for a lot of folks. It's got about 1,000 other pokers in the fire that need to be managed from time to time, and
Yeah, for sure.
balance, work-life balance, all that stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Hey man, this has been a fun. It's been a fun broadcast, man.
It has, a couple people stopping by,
I,
say hey.
yeah, it's great. I'm gonna bounce out of this gameplay, Nick, on your end.
Let us know in the chat thread what you guys thought about gameplay and whatnot, and just stay out for a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Regiment folks, if you're out there, we'd love to hear your feedback. Anybody else watching out there in Twitch world, let us know what you think, man. We're pretty proud of what we've done so far. Continuous improvements being made all the time. Sometimes you get a little lag in your internet connection and makes things a little more difficult. But of course, like I said, I'm no expert gamer here, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, further complicate things with me living in the middle of nowhere. Just kind of catch everybody up. I live out in the middle of Texas on a farm and work that as part of my hobbies. It's pretty relaxing to me as part of my my overall approach to wellness is just getting back to nature and that kind of thing.
So I'm looking forward to doing that myself. Eventually, I would love to return to whence I came.
Yeah. It gets complicated once you start mixing in families and competing agendas and things like that. Just luckily, everybody was ready for a change in my household. Whenever we decided to move, we were living in a major metropolitan area, relocated out to a rural space. Everybody made it really easy, which is a blessing. It could have been a lot more pushback from it, but I think everybody was ready for a change.
Yeah. Military families feel this the pain more than anybody. The kids, the wives. I mean, I was fortunate to literally only move like once as a family in my military career. That's almost unheard of. But even the impacts of that on the kids, and they were in middle school when we moved. It was like, wow, you don't realize it till later when you having adult conversations with your early 20s kids, and they're like, man, I lost all my friends. I left everything. That's traumatic.
Yeah, that's a really pivotal time to relocate them too, man. But luckily, they being in that military community, they were used to that churn from people going to do different things. So I'm sure that definitely gave them a little bit of a understanding to know that people can flow into and out of those relationships from other kids that their parents PCS'd away from Bragg or something like that.
Yeah, well, Bragg being the center of the universe, they were privy to see people, leave when they were younger to return 3 years later to leave again.
Yeah,
and it's like, I think military families are a lot like military dudes. You can go without seeing somebody forever, and just like reconnect and pick up right where you left off.
Yeah, totally.
Difficult, man. God bless military families, especially spouses out there who figured out how to deal with that thing.
Yeah, indeed.
Tough
I know it definitely put some strains on my relationships, that's for sure. But luckily, Laura kind of caught on like when I was in a groove, and it was pretty routine by that point, so it was more predictable for her, which is always easy to consume. Might not have been super exciting to know that I was going to come and go, but at least she could know that it was going to short duration, in and out, do the thing.
So before we jump off here, man, let's give a shout out to some of those good military charities out there like Warrior GMR, doing good things. Stack Up, Sound Off. I'll mention my own SOSF. There's a lot of good people out there who are doing good work for the military community. So, if it's something you need, or don't go without, man. There's plenty of help out there. Especially if you're feeling like not quite yourself and you need to talk to somebody. Get on Discord groups. You're going to find like-minded people in there who are willing to chat with you for a while.
Yeah, and in addition, like don't be afraid to like have overlap in all of those communities, because that's where all of the solutions to everybody's problems lie. Is finding the right person to connect with that can help you translate something that's complex into something that you can consume and relate to your own experience.
Yeah, and honestly, I jump on Coffee Talk from time to time in the morning. Tarlin 83 hosts Coffee Talk. Um, and really, man, it's a good chance just to dialogue with other vets. And man, last time I was on, we just talked about, everything and anything that was on our mind, from, you know, kids to politics to whatever the case might be. But um, he's on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I think it's 08. So, put him on your Twitch favorites. Jump in and talk to him. You can join Warrior GMR. Also, I think it's 7 on
I think
Thursdays
they're 7 o'clock Thursdays.
on Twitch. Exactly. See some gameplay over there. Also, get in with the guys and chat a little bit. It's pretty cool. And again, shout out to one of our recent new associates, Spartan Blades. You're going to see Spartan Blades incorporated into the game pretty quick here.
Yeah.
And so if you're interested in high quality knives, man, I own a couple myself, and I'll just have to show them off because I can't stand it. But
They are pretty gooch, man.
there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, this one, and I'm pretty proud of it, is actually signed by the master himself, Mr. William H. Harsey. So, Bill, if you ever see this Twitch episode for whatever reason, just know that this is one of my very prized possessions right here. And you too can have one of these. Go to SpartanBladesUSA.com and you can order one right there. High quality cutlery.
Well, I mean that goes back into like the networking opportunities. Is find the networks that are going to help everybody achieve and win. One of our goals is to kind of really look to help further these veterans causes that look to integrate veterans into the business community, wellness strategies. I mean, transitioning was probably my most challenging thing that I kind of dealt with. I mean, from a whole man concept, you have like basically go in and re-engineer a new identity, post-military identity, and that was initially that was a little bit of a challenge for me. I'm just kind of being raw. Led to some unhealthy habits, but catching yourself with those habits is just as vital as not starting them. Once you figure out that you've got some unhealthy methods for dealing with some of these situations, adjust, look for a new solution, and re-engage. Just like when you're bracketing for call for fire.
Figuring out the language is one of those transition things that I think is difficult. And the Honor Foundation is another one of those great charities out there who are helping people transition. I like to mention Opline also. If you're out there and listening and you're about to transition, go over and check out Opline. It's opline.com, I believe. That's OPLIGN.com. A good friend of ours, Brian Halstead, who's actually a character in the game also, came up with this idea of kind of eliminating the resume. And really the great thing about Opline is you can put your military qualifications in there as you know them. There's no translation needed. The AI engine that they have integrated within the system actually does that translation for you. It combs through the internet. And Brian, I apologize if I'm explaining some of this wrong. It's been a while. I was one of the first ones to put my stuff in there, but literally it spits out jobs that you qualify for based on your military qualifications. So things that don't have that direct translation on a resume, like Jump Master, or Halo or Scuba or some of those things, man, it just makes it easy. And I really, really hope that it's really successful, because I think it changes the paradigm on how the whole resume thing is done. I think the big change for resumes was when they started the automatic screening tools. And then, you got people, basically copy and paste in a job description so that they can make it by the filter. And that's like, it's like, what's the point? At that point, what it really is the point? It's, I think gone are the days where an HR person sits there and spends an hour or 2 hours looking at stacks of resumes or whatever. The beachcomber, as I love to call it, picks out a few and you look through them, and it's really about the network.
But that's the whole shtick is growing your network to expand to find help within your network, and then you can just really uh, pick up and integrate that person into your business opportunity. I think that's really helpful in the fact that you're already comfortable and you know that this person can or can't integrate within the team because he's already in your network.
Yeah. I mean, that networking is everything, in my
Yeah.
opinion. If you follow Mike Quinn on LinkedIn, he's a retired sergeant major, but Mike gives some very, very sage and straightforward advice about how to groom your LinkedIn profile, how to increase your professional image outside of the military, how to kind of translate some of that military speak over to what the civilian model is looking for. It's been helpful for me, honestly. And so I highly encourage anybody out there, if you're on LinkedIn, go look up Mike Quinn, see what he's about. He'll shoot you straight. Walk in with a thick skin.
Yeah.
I think that's one of those things that we forget in the civilian world. We're like, you gotta have a thick skin, dude. You might get turned down 100 times for things that you think you're overqualified for, but in the end, something wasn't right, and it's a constant change. The ability to tweak that resume for a certain job that you might want, versus, yeah, I'll tell you, man, and I'll just talk a little bit about these resumes because that's one of those near and dear things too. You go to the resume factories, you may even pay for a professional one to be written, but several people hang them in these veteran support sites now. They all look alike. They're identical. Oh, well, a project manager with 20 years of experience. Well, are you really? Are you really? Show me your sheepskin, buddy. Show me your certification. And then you go do that, right? So you go get a PMP cert, or you go get a Lean Six Sigma, or whatever certifications. I think they're important for a particular job that you're applying for. But to be honest with you, I think those jobs that are always going to be around, the warehouse keeper, the truck driver, don't be afraid to start at the bottom, man. You started there before. You know what I mean? Everybody thinks that you're going to, I'm retired CW4. I'm going to get out and get a CEO job. Sure, if you start your own company, you can call yourself whatever you want. I'm gonna make six figures my first year out. Well, you may luck into something like that, but it's going to be about networking, I think.
And preparation ahead of transition. There's a lot of lead-in stuff that I wish I would have had exposure to ahead of transition to make myself more prepared. But then again, you don't. It doesn't really resonate until it does. It's just like I tell my kids all the time. I'm sitting here and talk to them blue in the face on anything and everything until you're ready to consume that information. It really won't even process.
Yeah, you and I we had the opportunity to go through at least my transition, kind of together. And so you got to see all the mistakes that I made.
I was blessed to watch you retire, man.
Well, wait a minute, I don't know how to take that.
Well, I got to learn that I'm a first time go at every station because I watched all of your challenges.
Yeah, and I had many. And I think when you look at it's that ground rush.
Yeah.
I started to get ground rush, and I started my process, at least 12 months out ahead of time, getting the medical records straight and all the things that you're supposed to do, submitting the resumes, making sure your clearance is still good, starting to entertain companies, following them on LinkedIn, building the profile. I did all that stuff.
Yeah.
Right. But it's about location too. Down here in San Antonio, Texas, retired SF dude, you're going to find a contract job. If you're a cybersecurity guy with an Air Force background, you got a hell of a good shot. Now, if I'd have stayed at the center of the universe, Fort Bragg, I'd probably be working at USASOC right now, to tell you the truth. That's just the way it is. But made my bed, now I'm going to sleep in it.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's acceptable versions of me that I have now that I wouldn't have been satisfied with, 5 years ago because I was a different person then. My priorities were in a different order. So part of that, like soul searching experience is what do those priorities need to be? How can I most effectively, uh, guide my family through some of this transition too, because it impacts them just as much as it impacted me.
Yep.
So I'm uh, just lots of thinking. I mean, uh, everything's habits to me about breaking any situation down. It's all habits. Life is a series of habits and shortcuts that your brain takes to make the default solutions to problems. So just really trying to have the best habits uh, to make it from start to finish throughout the day that aren't going to derail any progress that I've made.
That's I think we're routine driven people, or at least I am. I still get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I still try to, shuffle my feet a little bit or do some kind of daily exercise just to get the blood flowing, painful as it might be. You have to do that. You have to do those things that mom taught you to do. Eat a good breakfast, get your mind straight. I have found lately that 15 minutes of meditation, whatever that might encompass, whether it's, I used to laugh at people that did yoga, but I'm doing it now, man. you know, you make fun of people and you're like, well, have you tried it? Like, no. Okay, well. And when you're out on the back deck and it's 90 degrees in San Antonio at 7 o'clock in the morning, you got a puddle of sweat under you because you're holding a pose. You're like, okay, I get it now.
I mean, that's so beneficial on multiple levels, though, man. I mean, just relating to inner peace is the biggest takeaway from yoga. Is knowing thyself and seeking self improvement.
I think I heard that one time before.
Yeah.
Know yourself and seek self improvement. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, those values and metrics come from somewhere.
Yeah.
And they're applicable across the domain, no matter what domain you fit in. If you try and better yourself at every opportunity, you're going to end up a pretty dang good person at the end of your journey.
Yep. That I've fallen into a daily routine, and I need to get a little better at it, honestly. But my biggest problem is sleep. you know, it's like 10 o'clock. I'm like, I know I should go to sleep, and then it's 2 o'clock, and then I can't sleep. And then it's the alarm clock rings at 5:30, and you're like, wait a minute, what did I do wrong? That's weird.
If there's one thing I'm guarded on, it's my sleep schedule. I will not compromise any of that because sleep is one of the most pivotal things that your body needs to reset. That's when all of that subconscious thought processes, align with a bunch of other different weird stuff going on. Is when you're sleeping, man.
Your brain and your body heal.
Yeah.
And you and I've talked about this before, the healing frequencies. I love that stuff playing in my room at night. It's relaxing.
Yeah.
If it helps, it helps. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But it makes me feel better. So there you go. Sometimes you just do what's right for you, man.
Yeah, I mean, like with this with our line of work, we consume a lot of digital content and electronics. So the first opportunity I have to check out of that is like high priority on my post workday activities. Is I don't want to go sit in front of the TV after I've just gotten done spending 10 hours in front of these 3 different computer monitors that are on my workstation. I want to go walk around and look at the goat's hoofs and see if they're in need of trimming and feed the chickens and things like that, because that's where I can really start to decompress some of those anxieties that build up over the course of the day.
Hey man, that's a Zen garden. Call it what you want.
It really is, man. I mean, it's just preference. Everybody has their thing that they do to check out, and that just seems to be mine for the next couple of years, which is cool.
100%. I look forward to the time when I can do that myself. A couple acres, a horse or two.
Yeah.
Just go saddle up and go for a ride. That kind of stuff I miss a lot. Nowadays, I saddle up that iron horse when I need some time.
Yeah, also very cathartic and therapeutic. Yeah.
Well, if you can keep from getting run over by a car in San Antonio, yeah.
Well, if you ride north after leaving your neighborhood,
Yeah, I find myself in the hill country quite often.
Yeah.
Get out toward Fredericksburg and wine country, man. It's just a relaxing ride. Me and Mama just little cruise. About 30 minutes is what I can take
Yeah.
on that bike I got. Then we got pull over, have a drink or something. A little
Yeah.
soda pop here or there, or shot of Gatorade when it's 90 degrees and you're trying to ride through that heat. But it's
Right.
cool.
Right up to the DOD entrance on the lake where you're at. That's a good, about a good 45-minute ride. But like you get there and kind of hang out and
Yeah.
soak up some sun, and all the military families out enjoying the
Yeah.
access, which is cool.
Well, man, I think we're gonna have to wrap up. I got something going on here. I got to go take care of. So it's been fun. The inaugural broadcast. We talked about a lot of topics. Got to do some gameplay today. Uh, hey, let us know in the chat if you guys want us to entertain any topic that you're interested in. If you need help cornering resources, or if you have questions about anything we talked about, man, hit us up. We're in multiple channels. You can find us with them on Discord, Instagram, Facebook. We're all over the place. But drop us a line. Let us know what you think, what you're doing.
For sure.
All right, brother.
Okay, well, I guess I'll just carry this guy out through the end of the hour, and we'll put a pin in this first one, man. No, always appreciative of your time. Thank you so much for hanging around as long as you did. I know you got a couple other things in the hopper going on, so
absolutely. I'm gonna go bounce. I got a vehicle emergency I gotta go take care of real quick. But if it gets done quick, I'll jump back in.
Yeah, sounds good then.
All right, y'all. Be good.
All right. Later. Yeah, a little bit about how all of us kind of came together. Sorry about that. I've worked with Sean for a period when we were in the Army. He was an advisor for a special forces company that I was the operations officer for. Okay. Yeah, and that's how Sean and I met up and ended up becoming compadres and pisos. And he retired a few years ahead of me, so I got to watch his retirement ahead of mine, which really paid dividends with transition planning and realistic horizons. So my all of it, the VA claims process was a fully developed claim by the time I retired. I learned that from watching him. So some of those types of discussions we can pull forward in this content to help some of your transition planning or post-military life engagement type discussions. If you got any topics you want to hear us like wax philosophical on, put them in the chat or connect with us in the socials and join the Discord and chime in. And you can follow me on Twitter, Telegram. I'm pretty engaged for the most part on socials. I do my best to answer content coming back at me within 24 hours. This little golden rule that I have to try and let you know at least that I've seen your content, and I'm either actively working the reply or next steps for the engagement. All right, I guess we're going to a short intermission momentarily, or maybe we're just playing with the themes in the background. I don't know. First rebroadcast bugs to work out through this thing. We've done some earlier content ahead of this. I had some internet connectivity issues being out in rural America. You see all that on the national scale. The USDA is trying to get high-speed internet out to the rural areas. It turns out, you kind of have to know what the fine print says in this high-speed internet and what the government considers high speed. So my previous provider didn't really do so great. We the wife and I decided to upgrade. We went to the Starlink, which is helpful. We're in an area that's getting ready to be opened for services. We waived some some standards for uh, deliverables as a part of that contract, and we got the thing ahead of schedule, which is pretty good. We copied our neighbor. He's a veteran. He used that solution, shared that with us, and we got it. And we've been pleasantly surprised with the progress that the availability and reliability of the service since making that switch. So that's good news. If you have any Starlink ambitions, you get my thumbs up to go ahead and give that a shot. We just got the stationary. We didn't get the roaming package. A little bit beyond our needs at this point. What else? Let's see. All right. A little bit about me. I'm a 23-year military retiree. Retired as a chief warrant officer. My branch affiliation was I was an assistant detachment commander for Special Forces Regiment. Retired as a CW2. Transitioned. Started thinking going back to school was my transition plan. Made it a few classes deep into a doctorate program. Realized I was looking for something a little bit different. Decided to pivot. I didn't know what that was. Started exploring opportunities online. Ran into Nick, our technical founder. Had some discussions. We started off in the blockchain space, which was pretty interesting. Learned a lot. There's a lot of information to consume in that regard. I already had some exposure to blockchain, but the specifics for building games on chain and things of that nature was something I had to basically take myself to task to do a lot of study and to see if it was something that we were going to explore a little bit further as a business. We did, and that's kind of the beginning of Ore System. And I mean, I practice what I preach. I look for building resiliency into my network. I knew Sean was a value add to our organization, and I pinged Sean and said, "Hey, man, some of this stuff might not make a lot of sense to you now, but let's take a look at it and see how we can apply some of these, operational design techniques, military decision-making process applications. All that is really the same thing as it shakes itself out in business. So really just started building a network of people that we brought together for a common purpose, not too indifferent from the military. I brought in Jonah, our IT director. He's currently deployed down on the southern Texas border, working in that regard to assist the Texas Army National Guard with some of their challenges on protecting our southern border. Hopefully he'll be back within the next little bit. We miss his expertise dearly. He's a great value add to most of the business calls that we run, and really look to leverage those networks, leveraging those networks of people that will help me provide accountability to myself and to the rest of the network. And we know that we can lean on others in some regards when we need a little bit of support, and we know that we can take a little bit of the extra load when other people need support. That's one of the great things about building resilient teams is knowing that you don't have to be at your best every day you show up, and it's okay as long as it's not a recurring theme to where somebody's constantly having to provide some of your solutions. So thank you for participating in our journey, and we hope that we can continue to bring live and relevant content. If you're interested in participating with a little bit more firepower, you can go to withthem.co. It's the game's website. We can do a quick little orientation on that if I can. Hopefully, we have the ability to share my screen out. And we had it set up for Sean, but Sean had to dip because he had a vehicle situation. So I'm just gonna roll with the punches and see if we can get mine up. I'd love to do a quick little orientation around the and hang on, let me see here. Boop. All right, here's the website. Pretty user friendly for anybody that was born before born after 1980. It should be pretty native and easy to navigate. If you want to participate, you can go ahead and go through our pre-order process to get the game, so we can use some of the funds raised to integrate some of those wellness aspects and therapeutics into the game, as well as build out our companion application, which will pair with the game as a part of the growth of the project. Here's the pre-order packages. Starts with Sean's character. It's a pro edition. It's got some pretty sweet mountain climbing swag. I've had stuff like that similarly issued to me to go do some stuff in different places in the Eastern European theater. So these are pretty cool limited edition content that will only be available during the pre-order process. Once the pre-order goes away, which we're still hashing out the timelines on that. Let me look back and shoot. Okay, well, we'll come back to the timeline when the pre-order goes away. You can also use these things and send these as gifts to people, which is pretty cool. So this is Sean's characters that he's made, and some of his calling cards and emblems that'll be a part of that limited pre-order opportunity. So if you buy the pro edition, you get Sean's character with an additional you get Sean's character's additional skin unlocked, as well as the emblems and the calling cards. In addition to Sean's character, we have the next package is the Elite Edition, which is my character, and we'll roll everything up at the end. So we got me. Here's my character, a little bit more gray in the beard than I'd like, but I mean, at this point, look at the video. It's pretty accurate. Here's one of my calling cards. Thought that was pretty cool. And the emblems that I chose to go with, Make It Rain, this little reference to a movie. So part of the mid-tier package comes with all of my content, and the Ultimate Edition comes with Rick Lamb, which is a legend in the soft community. I've worked with Rick when I was the liaison at Special Operations Command Korea. He was working as I think he was on the 34 desk, which is the depending on what theater or what command you're in, what 34 will feed to. But I think he was running the mobility, or I can't recall right off the top of my head. I don't know if it was 34 actually. But Rick's is cool. He's an enthusiast for a bygone era, so we gave Rick the World War II garb to wear, along with a custom machine gun 308, which will only be available at any point in the game through this pre-order process. You buy the Ultimate package, you get everybody's content, Rick's content, my content, Sean's content. Be a great opportunity to support a growing veteran enterprise who's looking to do great things in the space. We're not asking for a handout. We're asking for a handout. We're here to provide some solutions to some of these complex problems that I don't quite frankly think the national powers that be really have a firm grasp of how to solve some of these complex things. And we are all members of the video game generation. I grew up with an NES in my bedroom as a young kid, which was, I'm blessed that my family had that opportunity to provide me with that experience. But it's made me a video game junkie, and I get to hang out now as a dad and do that on the other half of that discussion for my kids, which is really even that much more special because he comes in here and watches us do some pre-alpha gameplay, and he's like, "Oh, that's dumb. That's lame. Why are you doing that? Why?" Or it's just really a special way to be able to connect with him in a different capacity. My daughter is interested in some of the developmental aspects. I'm kind of teaching her how to use some of these Re-illusion software opportunities to do custom character design, because that's a great field of study uh, in the academic endeavors. After she gets out of high school, she can go really refine that craft, getting some additional uh, educational opportunities in college if that's something that she's interested in. If not, that's okay too. We can figure out what else is going to work for her. And if she's not super interested in computers, that's okay. We'll just get on to the next thing and we'll find out what her cup of tea is, because everybody likes something a little bit different. So when you're at the withthem.co website, you can also go to withthem.vet. There's a redirect in there. Hop on and register for an account. I can't walk you through that, but it's pretty simplistic. You guys can see my work email if you need. Oh, and my password. Oh, my bad. I guess I got to change that. Well, shit. Sorry. Get on, register for an account, and let us know. It's really easy. We learned a lot from our last game launch on like coordinating gameplay early on. Becomes a challenge. We can kind of do that here in the game. You can really interactively build your clans and teams on the site to get in and work some tournament stuff. We've got some community aspects and competitions that we're trying to work into the deployment cycle. So the Turkey Shoots a tournament that I set up to kind of work towards a benchmark for building out the ability to engage and coordinate for your teams to sign up and come play in that tournament and participate with the content. Really want to key in on the community aspects of this whole process. The more resilient your community is, the more resilient your network is going to be, and supporting you and your individual efforts on how to take care of yourself and help hone a long-term strategy for dealing with some of those challenging things, to where you can ultimately get it down to where it's just something that helps shape who you are today versus something that you let dominate your gray space, man. Stay in the present. Don't dwell too long in the past. Don't spend too much time in the future, and you'll be fine. Looking forward to participating with this discussion with you guys over the coming months. If you know anybody that's going to be any type of value add to this discussion, please share the link out with them. Have them follow us here on Twitch and connect with us on socials. We want to put forth the best product and help serve as a manifold for solutions. Everybody has different problems. The bigger our network is, the more we can help each other and find that community support to offset some of those complex problems that not everybody has the right answers to. So thank you so much to the 36 folks that are out there consuming the content. Always appreciated. Anything that we can do to make your experience more pleasurable, please let me know. We're going to try and cover this space every Wednesday from 11 to 1. Set your timers, and we'll be here next time you come back through, man. Come with some topics. If you think of anything between this show and the next, hit us up on the socials. Follow me. It's at Lucas_Hamrick_ on Twitter. My Telegram is, hit me on Twitter because that's the only one I know, and we'll work all the other stuff out from there. All right, thanks so much for your time. Appreciate you coming through, and stay tuned for more veteran-oriented content. And hop in and go get that pre-order purchase. $20, man. I've done far less with far more money. So support a veteran cause to help us do great things, man. Enjoy the rest of your day, and follow me if you're looking for more content. Tonight from OR, we have the Warrior Hour over on a different channel, as well as on YouTube. Again, link up in the show comments if you need any additional information. I'll post the Warrior Hours show link in the guest thread or in the chat, and that's about it. Peace.